Hey everyone, welcome to Ash on Comics. I'm Ash, and this is today's comic, Detective Comics 985 by Bryan Edward Hill, and a new artist I'm not familiar with. To me, it's Felipe Briones, which I'm very happy about because I was not happy with the artist who was previously, up to now, illustrating this book. I thought this was a pretty cool cover with these bats. I'm really liking these alternate covers that DC's doing. I've never been an alt cover fan. I just want the singular book with the logo and stuff, but when they make them gorgeous, I just can't resist. And I also can't buy more than one. I hate doing that. So, this is the third book in Bryan Hill's 5-part arc in Detective Comics. And we start off, FYI, the pages here are the glossy pages we've been used to. DC is a couple of their books have gone to this new matte page, thicker stock that's really nice that a lot of people are loving. This book is not one of them. So we pick up on this book. Interestingly, I like how this does not literally just pick up like the next page from the end of the previous issue, where Batman decided that he agreed with his villain Karma that his proteges were all making him too weak. So he's having a conversation with Alfred here. You've gone through so much effort to build an army of minds. Seems a waste not to apply them to this mystery. They're off the field, Alfred. Karma's too dangerous. If I may, Master Bruce, most people would consider a rising threat as reason for more assistance. Most. He left this for me as a message. As per usual, it seems specific. Do you recognize it? And then Bruce goes off to talk about what hyperthymesia is, and that they can remember people can remember everything. And Alfred's like, I wasn't aware you had that talent. He's like, I don't. This is an excuse for Bryan to have me drive a Ferrari. So he's like, I need to go for a drive, clear my head, and think about things. So if you follow Bryan on Twitter, which I recommend you do, he's a really funny guy. Entertaining as far as creators go to follow, he's probably my favorite creator to follow. Not because he's my favorite creator, he talks about interesting stuff on Twitter. He's very professional to the fans, great example. He'll actually listen to what you have to say, and I think he's great. He's been talking about for weeks about how he went and test drove a Ferrari as research for Bruce to go driving, and I was giving him some shit about, Bruce Wayne would not drive a Ferrari. This is a rich man's car. Bruce Wayne is wealthy. He doesn't drive $200,000 sports cars. He drives $2 million sports cars. Okay, so I was like, you need to be having him drive a Bugatti. But whatever. That's what. Obviously, Bruce Wayne's got a plethora of cars, so he's driving a low-end Ferrari because it's his daily driver, maybe. I don't know. So he gets out, and there's some nice narrative dialogue here. It's inner monologue of Bruce as he's going through to try to piece out what's going on. The man in the mask knows me. He called me Bruce, so I must know him. Members of the League or the Court have more discipline, more control. This man is Fury, and he left me a blade as a calling card. Roz taught me to treat memory like a museum. All you have to do is walk through the halls and find the rooms. He knows it's how he keeps 1,000 years in his mind. I prefer to consider memories like a deck of cards. You flip through them all, just to find one joker. The dagger, gold handle, hand-forged blade, where have you seen it? Detective. I thought this was really cool inner monologue. And I gotta tell you, when I read the Detective Comics by Bryan, a all I can hear, and I just spaced his name, the voice actor that does Kevin Conroy, that does Bruce Batman in the animated series. All I can hear in my head is that voice. It just comes out naturally. I'm not even trying to hear it that way. And this is really cool. And I know Bryan was really looking forward to it. I'm glad that he got to do these scenes. So, Markovia, years ago, we see some freedom fighter guys doing stuff, and batarangs come out of nowhere, knock a gun out of his hand. Oh God, no. The people of Markovia need freedom, not gun runners. You're not real. So I don't know what Batman's doing in Markovia, but not important. So he disarms the guy. The children call you the man of fear. You make them watch, you torture their parents. What are you doing to me? Now fear has come for you. The man who created that formula wanted to leave people insane. So, yeah, it looks like scarecrow gas. What I've given you won't break your mind. Not forever. Please, you can't leave me out here alone. You won't be alone. My friends will be with you. And so that he's going to freak out, have a traumatic experience, the bat. And this is the Batman I like. And one of the things I'm really appreciating about Bryan Hill's run on this, he's not trying to pander to an audience. Bryan Hill has a distinct vision of who he feels Batman is. And even though it's not 100% aligned with what I think Batman is, he's not compromising. And this part of Batman, I do agree with him. He's the solitary figure of the night whose biggest weapon is fear. And this comes across. He's not just some, guy in a leotard running around beating up criminals. There's a psychological element to Batman, and I really like seeing it. I like when the book is about that. And it's not really overly dark. I've seen, other Batman books that are just way over the top dark. But it's not bright and cartoony and light either. And this has that nice fine line of being able to keep Batman fun, but yet keep it on, the dark side of the middle. I don't really know how to better put it. My God, I made him. So Bruce, back in the present day, he's driving and he realizes, nice little shot here, I like this. Little ridiculously close to the edge, but it's a comic book, so I like the lights here. I'm betting that Bryan was liking this too, because he likes the old school 80s aesthetic. I should have read this book. You know what? When you read this book, read it with like an 80s synth rock soundtrack. Because I'm betting you Bryan wrote this book with that. Consider this karma. Well, after he says, like I made all of them. Consider this karma. And it's all clicking. And you're able to follow all along as a reader without him having to explain it all to you. He's not having to describe to you how Bruce is putting it together. You easily see it with just very sparse words. That's great storytelling. Where do you plug in the coffee in this machine? That's really bad voice for that's a terrible voice for Jefferson Pierce here. That sometimes it can happen too when you don't realize whose voice you're reading, because you just see a dialogue in space here. So Jefferson, where do you plug the coffee in this machine? Barbara, Cassandra, Duke. So they're just wow, we don't need babysitters, blah, 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 blah. Which, I had to find this kind of funny, because just their attitude and posture, shows that they do need babysitters. So he's basically yeah, too bad, you're gonna have to listen to what I have to say. And they're like, oh, Black Lightning, stupid name. And he just, because he's used to dealing probably with tougher kids in in high school or whatever grade level he teaches. These guys are nothing. We are not having this discussion. We're going to order a pizza, do some push-ups, catch up on Westworld. We wait to hear from Batman. This was great. Like, and I'm not going to read you like everything that led up to this, but please get this book. I know I'm spoiling it, but I'm doing so in the sense that if you're really not going to buy this book, even though I'm like spoiling it, I can't do anything for you. You know, you're not going to buy the book anyway. And if you actually care about having good comics and you want to enjoy them, then you're not going to sit here and have the whole book spoiled to you and have the, you know, my presentation be your experience, because this can't be that entertaining. But anyways, leading, you know, all these scenes and the dialogue leading up to this, I thought was really great. And kudos on to Westworld. If you haven't watched Westworld, holy crap, it's one of the best TV shows ever. It's so good. So the characters are still in dispute, talking about, you know, their disagreement with Batman's doing and all that stuff. And we see, here's a wild guess. This is one of those situations where Batman says he has it under control, but he really doesn't, and won't admit it, and he's going to need help. Bingo. Yup. If karma can read minds, that's a problem. Damn it. Okay, I'm not saying yes. Teach me what you all can do. And I like how Jefferson Pierce is keeping these guys in line. Like, they're like these unruly kids who are just kind of bratty, and you think they're just going to be like, whatever, we're out. And he reins them in. I think Bryan really kind of did his research. Either Bryan has some background in education and working with kids, or he did some good research, because I feel like Jefferson Pierce is someone who understands how to keep them in control. So we get a scene here, this bus. This is kind of, talking about dark. So kids getting on the bus. Oh yeah, going to school. Dead driver. And then this shot here of the kids just like, oh my god, like, this panel, this layout, this whole page is great. The art in this book is such a step up from the previous artist, not just in terms of illustration quality, but in layouts and visual storytelling, which is such an underappreciated thing in comics. It just complements the writer so well when an artist can do this. So we get Karma crashing in through the window, or he's coming in this way, and the kids now are like, oh shit, what the, you know, and he's just like, oh, suffer the little children who come unto me, keep your voices down, your thoughts are loud enough, because he can read minds. And he kicks out the driver and drives away in the bus. And then we go to downtown, where this bitchy newscaster's talking to her production staff, whatever. They're not listening. That's why, because they're not around. And she gets abducted. And then we get some nice dialogue with Pierce and Alfred. Alfred, do you have a minute? I have a feeling you're the glue holding all this together. Can you tell me about him? I'm happy to entertain a question, Mr. Pierce, as long as you're patient with the possibility that I can't answer it. Why does he want me here? He can call anyone. He can do anything. Master Bruce is a remarkable man, but he is only a man. He has considerable resources and the will of a Titan. But the Batman is an idea that's powered by frail flesh and blood. From what I understand, you are powered by quite a bit more than that. So, again, I don't want to read you the comic book, but I wanted to read you snippets of these dialogue scenes, because it's just great dialogue. Like, Bryan Hill, I wish I was a good voice narrator, but, you know, so you could actually get a better interpretation of this. I'm not doing it justice. He just writes it so smooth. I just care to see what these characters say. You know, it's a bad sign when you're reading a comic book and you see all these word balloons and you're just like, I don't want to read this. That means the writer's not doing their job. You should want to read this. You should just be like, oh, what's going on next? Oh, and just be gripped at their every word. These characters I care about. He's starting to flesh out this Jefferson Pierce guy who I thought up until now was just sort of bland. He's making Alfred so interesting. Just this sort of wise Yoda-esque character who doesn't actually do any of the action, but he knows sort of how to be there and shape it. It's, oh wow. Yeah, read this for yourself. It's so worth it. So then we have the classical Jim Gordon with the bat signal. He's calling Batman because of that bus incident. I'll find them, Jim. This will end. GPS on the bus led us to the harbor. Kidnap and rescue searched, and the television studio. But there's nothing to follow. No ransom demands, no gimmicks. It's easier when they leave you riddles, cards, and coins. He kidnapped a reporter. That means he wants to send us a message. The children are alive because he needs them to be. It's their fear he wants, and ours. I know you're not responsible for what these madmen do. Jim? Of course I am. It gives me chills. Like, again, I've already read this. I'm just reading it to you guys now. And it's... Seriously, the first 2 issues of this book were really good. Like, enjoyable. I tried to keep my praise down because it wasn't like I was reading Batman Year 1 or something, you know. But it was... I still also wanted to praise it. It's hard to, like... to keep that balance of, like, I want to praise it just enough that it really deserves, but also not be hyperbolic. This book is a step up. This, I don't know if it's because of the art too, but this whole page, fantastic. I've already showed you a couple of others. And so now we go to a undisclosed hidden location where we got Karma talking to the kids, and I won't spare you the details here. He gets the newscaster to do, one of the messages to the public to basically speak out to Batman. So Batman gets the message, and the message is, Gotham, I will trade your children for his. Batman, all you have to do to secure them back into their homes is destroy the weakness you have created. Destroy all of those who bear your mark and be pure again. Oh shit, that's us. You have 24 hours to place their bodies in the center of Gotham. Break them like you broke me. Burn away the weakness, Batman. Save these children. I believe in you. Oh. And this is another thing. I've always said, in my opinion, what makes a great Batman book is the villain. Good Batman story should always be about good villains, in my opinion. And this villain is completely compelling. At first I just thought he was too straightforward, like, oh, he's just a man who wants to see Batman. But you can start to see there's craziness to him. This right here feels a little psychotic. I believe in you. And I was like, okay, this is the kind of Batman villain. This is going to be a villain that I honestly, I'll see how I'll wait till the story's over. But as of right now, this seems like an iconic villain that ain't going anywhere. This Karma, I'm loving. So, we see Jim Gordon watching the news, and that girl, she's set on fire. I should have anticipated this. Too distracted. Too comfortable. The anger I have is just fear in disguise, and I'm afraid he's right. No more masks. Wow. Alright, this has been a long review, I know. I appreciate you, if you've been watching this, bearing with me. But this book, I wanted to show why it's so good. Part of the things that I want to do on my channel when I'm reviewing books isn't just to say, hey, this book is good, go buy it. There's so many people that are doing that. You can kind of get a consensus. But I want to kind of go through the book and be an advocate for good books. So you, as a fellow reader like myself, can see why the book is worth, why it's worth your $2.99 or $3.99. Because anyone can just have an opinion and say, hey, this book's good, go buy it. But why? I want to show you, and I want to elevate the consciousness. Not that I'm some massive expert on comics or anything, but I've read comics for a long time, and I've had other people that knew more about comics convey some wisdom to me that helped me improve my appreciation of comics. So I want to talk about those things that I've learned, and hopefully it helps you see a book in a perspective that maybe you didn't see that originally, and maybe got some extra appreciation out of it that you didn't have before. Or maybe I'm just talking out of my ass and you read this book and you're like, Ash, this book blows. What is your problem? You're an idiot. But I don't think you're good. This book is amazing. The only thing is, like, this book is a stellar. I mean, this artist is a step up and he's really good, but he's not Greg Capullo. But even still, no complaints. $2.99. This book is awesome. You can't ask for more, I don't think, from a weekly book, or sorry, a bi-weekly book for $2.99. Massive thumbs up. Move the needle, please. If you like Batman at all and you want fun Batman stories, and maybe you've been disenchanted with what Tom King's doing, pick up this run. It's 5 issues of Detective Comics. Tweet out, move the needle. If my recommendation got you to buy it, put me down. I want to tag me on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter, please. Ash1138. I'd love to know that people are buying comics because of these recommendations. That's what Move the Needle is all about. And DC needs to know. Also tag DC that, hey, I'm buying this book because people are recommending it, and it's awesome, and this is what we want to see on Batman going forward. Because when you don't do that, if we don't make our voices heard, we're getting things like G. Willow Wilson on Wonder Woman, and we're getting, what's her name on Aquaman? Is it Kelly Sue DeConnick? Just... and then the people are already complaining about Bendis on Superman with Superman #1, well deserved. I just did a review of Action Comics 1001, which is actually quite a surprising opposite. But anyways, there's a lot of controversial thoughts on this. We want good creators. This is what we want, and we're not going to get it if we don't support it. So buy it. Praise the author when you like it, and tell DC you love it, and hopefully you like this review. Please let me know if you've been reading this book, what you think. I really, especially up to this issue, this shifted the book into 6th gear. Kudos, Bryan Hill. You have continued to impress. And you took me up to a new level on it, and you're even better than I thought you were last issue. So, way to go. Awesome. Thanks, everyone, for watching. I hope to see you again. Bye.